Welcome back, everyone, to another YouTube Live Monday show. My name is Aaron, your host at the Slab YouTube channel, joined by Nate, 6 p.m. Eastern Time every Monday. We're here answering questions and running through a topic. And, of course, y'all see the topic of today's video. It's investing in the right sports cards. So let me preface this entire discussion by, first off, thank you for being here. Secondly, this has nothing to do with collecting. It has nothing to do with collecting what you like. This is all just straight data and facts and looking at different sets and different players and which cards get the highest ROI. This might not be a discussion for you if you are strictly a collector. Now, I will also say that I am a collector. I have so many cards that have not risen in value over the last 3 years. And Nate does too. And
I have a lot of cards that have decreased in value. Shout out to Devontae Graham.
Exactly. So basically my point in saying that is that, yes, this is going to be very investor focused. I don't want those of you sitting here being like, oh, all they do is just care about the ROI. It's not that. It's just that this is a good discussion to have because with Ohtani going off yesterday, that was a huge home run. Oh, I saw the replay right off the bat. That thing was just torqued. And then throwing over 100 miles per hour. It's worth a discussion to have because there's some findings I came upon that I think is worth talking about and worth having you all discuss too. So what's up, Joel, Michael Brown, Global Sports Card Investor, Marcus Post? How we doing? Good to see you all back in the house. Let's get this screen share going. Let's get the discussion going. Investing in the right card. So we have a few slides to share that bring up some examples. You all can bring up more examples in the chat and we can talk about them to get some discussion going. Please, we encourage you all to talk about what we're talking about on screen, and we'll share some of your comments and highlight you all for your good input as the show goes on. So basically,
Aaron, one second. Before we begin.
Yes.
Yuck, we both invested in Devontae Graham. I would like to point out that I was merely I love Kansas, and I bought Devontae Graham cards. So I don't really know if it's considered an investment, but yes, I spent money on him. Not a ton of money, actually, considering I bought him when he was dirt cheap.
Very little money was spent. Okay, now we'll get going.
Yes.
So this all rose, this discussion, because Ohtani's big hit last night. I was talking with some guys in a group chat that we've been in with for a while, and I used to own the card on the right, that dual autograph of Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. I bought that card back in 2019, I'm pretty sure. I graded it. It got a PSA 10. And I think I sold it to my good friend Tyler Wagner, previous Brewers pitcher, an ex-MLB player. One of the first actually players that Nate and I ever had contact with. Actually, He was the first, which was really cool. And he was huge into the Heritage set. And I loved the card, but I was selling off the baseball cards, and that one went with it. So I was so bummed last night seeing Ohtani finally healthy and everything, going off. I'm let me just check in and see how much this thing is worth to see if I'm going to be super regretful or not. Well, the non-graded sold on auction for $1,190. I'm pretty sure I sold my 10 for maybe $1,700. A PSA 9 on November 10th, 2019 sold for $750. So it's a 60% rise in value over the last, year and a half. But if you bought the Topps Chrome Update base PSA 10, it was $16 a pop. $16 a piece for that Topps Chrome Update PSA 10.
For PSA 10?
Yeah, man, that
you get it for cheaper than you could grade it for?
To grade a card, it was $8 to grade a card. You probably were buying the card for $1 or 50 cents at the time, 50 cents or $1. So you're in it for $9 and then maybe some fees and some shipping along the way, and you're breaking even probably on it at that point. So pretty crazy to see that. But $16, and as of March 14th, 2021, the reason why I picked that date is because that was the last point that dual autograph sold. I couldn't go and take the price from last night after the home run and the pitching because that just wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't make a huge difference because it's $190 now. It make a big difference in the Ohtani on the left percentage, but either way, this card ROI percent smashing the dual auto. And that's up 588% from $16 to $110 on March 14th. And now it's $190. So, even more so than that now. And the crazy thing is that if you spend $750 on November or in November 2019 on the Ohtani base PSA 10s, you would have, I think it was like 5,500 I computed on March 14th, and bring that all the way today, and that would probably be, around 8,750 or 9,000 or something if it's at 190. And then for the Trout, you'd have probably like $1,200 because I don't think that card's probably risen in value much. There's another PSA 9. I think it's from High Number though. That's listed at like $1,300 of best offer. So that card definitely hasn't moved much in the last like 2-3 weeks. Maybe it's still like $1,300 now because Ohtani playing well. But it is quite wild. It's quite wild to sit here and literally think that thing 10 times the output of the dual auto in the last 2 years.
Especially considering, Mike Trout is on it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Exactly. It's an on-card auto of both of them. It's numbered out of 25 from Heritage. Now, here's the big thing is that it's not a rookie auto. I mean, this was a 2019 card. It's a second-year Ohtani card, eighth-year Trout card, if that year matters, which it doesn't. But really, even if it was a rookie, I don't even think it would touch 588%. Now, here's the thing, though. You're probably sitting here today and like, oh, my gosh, history is going to repeat itself 2 years from now. There's no way I should be buying or at least one of the greatest players of all time, and then another, big player in the MLB, potentially huge if he can stay healthy. I wouldn't be so sure about that because now the price has risen so much on these base PSA 10s, not just on Ohtani, but on all the other players over the last 2 years. I don't know if we're going to see the same output over the next 2 years or even really close to that. I think we kind of hit – it just depends on how many people come into cards. But I almost think that the amount of people now chasing these base PSA 10s is going to be so much lower the next 2 years than the previous 2 years. And go ahead.
No, you can finish.
No, I was just going to say, it's hard for now. I'd say 2 years ago, we'd also say the same thing. Like, oh my gosh, no way that base PSA 10 outpaces the dual auto. So maybe that's just me not listening to the data right now. Maybe I should sit here and say, oh, everyone should, if you're looking for ROI only, nothing about collecting, only in it for the future monetary gain, you should buy base PSA 10s, which actually probably still makes sense. I mean, that's why people buy them today, right? Most liquid, it makes the most sense selling them. More people are looking for them. More people can afford them too. That actually is a really big thing. More people can afford that card, which makes it easier to get, which means that the price can go up faster.
Yep.
So that is not something to pass over, that we're comparing $750 of spending, but in reality, all you have to do would have you would have had to spend between $16 and $110 between November 2019 and March 2021.
And I think a good thing to point out again, Aaron, you just did it, but for those people that are coming in, this is strictly return on investment. Obviously, I think every collector in here, there's no doubt you would rather buy one of these Ohtani Trout autos than 10 of these Topps Chrome updates.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's why this conversation is important, because if you just put these two cards up here and asked anybody in this room watching this right now what they'd rather have for the future, 100%, I guarantee it, 100% would pick that Mike Trout.
Yeah, I agree too. Looks like you just hit your camera about 4 feet to the left.
Oh.
But yeah, really, really crazy. And T206 guy, he's bringing up some parallels now. Look at Prism Green or Prism Red, White, and Blue. They often sell for the same price as base. I see them often selling for less than Bright base. It's a no-brainer, but everyone's got their blinders. I think that maybe he's just talking about liquid base PSA 10s. I'm not sure. Either way, it still matters what he said, is that parallels do, the non-numbered parallels often, like the red, white, and blue specifically, are around the same cost, and they don't rise as fast either. We'll actually look into that a little bit later. But let's move on to the next example.
Hey, question for you before you go on. Ohtani
you always
question.
do this, right? Right when I switch the screen, you always bring up one more thing.
2019 Top Series 2 Ohtani jersey auto number 10.
Yeah.
What do you think? $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 nowadays?
Dude, it's probably like $200. I know you're joking.
So.
How much did he sell it for?
$265, which is absurd considering it was a.
We were at Brewtown previewing Series 2 for the first time. It was like right on release day. We were buying boxes for $55, Top Series 2 in 2019. And Nate pulls an Ohtani auto number out of 10. Little did we know that card would be worth like way less than a Series 2 base PSA 10 of Tatis when those are probably going to be like $40 out of release, $30 out of release, which
Isn't
is
that
nuts.
crazy?
That's so wild. That's so wild.
Absurd.
I know, it's crazy. Global sports investor with a great point here. And we bring this up too through some of our past live streams. I think there's going to be an absolutely insane amount of junk slabs in the coming months. Yeah, with the backlog starting to get cleared by PSA as they work through that more with being suspended, their services, everything under $300, I definitely can see pop reports multiply exponentially on 2019 cards of like Prism, Tyler Hero. Like Zion, a lot of people were probably sending in on that like $50 to maybe $100 grading because it's obviously expensive card. People might want to grade it, get their money out, buy something else. But guys like Tyler Hero, no one was spending $50 to grade that base card. No one was spending $100. So all those were getting sent in on the $14, $15, up to $20, whatever they were at the most recent grading service level. And those are the cards that are going to be pumped into the market now. I mean, you look at the population for Tyler Hero compared to Zion, just wait until all those value submissions get cleared from the past, like, I don't know, since, September. That's when values all the way back to, I think, August or July right now. So all of that time.
August 3rd, I believe.
August 3rd right now? Yeah, so that's crazy. That's really, really crazy.
Did the bubble even start up yet by August 3rd?
It was like August. No, it just was starting. I think the very end of July was like the first game.
Yeah, so you have a bazillion Tyler Heroes in PSA right now.
And it's not just Tyler Hero. It's just the first guy that came to my mind. It's, anyone from that 2019 class, and even baseball. I mean, think about all the Topps Chrome base from like Bo Bichette and all those guys that are
so much
there.
Topps Chrome, so many Topps Chrome autos.
Yeah.
Even Series 1. Think of how many Randy Rosarenas are going to show up.
Exactly. So, like, I guess we bring this up, and really Global Sports Car Investor brought up this point right now, to think about if you own those PSA 10s and you look at the pop report and you have a player that's maybe inferior to the best player on that set. So if you look at your Randy or Rosarena, you're like, holy cow, there's like a 10th of them compared to Bo Bichette. Well, that's not because there was a 10th of them made. That's because there's a 10th of them being willing to be sent to get graded, forever ago. So you should maybe be thinking about selling that right now, regardless of what you think about Randy or Rosarena, and buying them later, especially once they get flooded into the market.
Yep. And that goes for every guy from 2020 and beyond. Even, your Kyle Lewis's, your Yordan Alvarez's, your Luis Roberts. And Luis Robert probably has quite a few graded because he was pretty expensive.
I agree, but there's probably going to be more to be graded. But Will, thank you for that comment. Hey, guys, thanks for the lecture series. Not just a lecture. We want you all to be discussing, too, which is why you bring up your points here. Baseball has been especially useful. So complicated, LOL. Nate, thank you for helping out Will.
Will, you're welcome.
There we go. All right. So that was the first example. Now we'll move on to
wait, one more. Oh, just kidding.
It's about to snap. I was about to snap. Okay, we are moving on to the basketball example. So once again, I'm going to preface every single example saying this is strictly ROI. This has nothing to do with collecting. We are looking at just the data. If you love collecting, we love collecting too. So we love you being here. But we just want to make sure that this is known that we're talking about the ROI and the investment only of these for the last 2 years on most of these. So this is Luka Doncic Select Red out of 199 PSA 10. This card was $96 June of 2019, $96. No one was really searching for PSA 10s of that Select set. Now it's $4,350 on March 4th. The impeccable patch auto number at 99. I think, like Nate said before, everyone would agree, hey, we would way rather have that in our collection, regardless if it's signed by Luka's mom or Luka himself. It just looks sweet. Impeccable as a canvas card. It looks beautiful. The patch is awesome. So I think we all get that. But that card was $990 on July 17th, 2019. That was the closest time range I could get of those two cards, was like a month apart. And now that Luka's $15K, which is amazing. I mean, I think a lot of people, if they have that 990, like maybe they just say, oh, I can get that one card. I mean, no one was buying 10 PSA 10s of that Select Red at that time. There were not 10 Select PSA 10s that were selling through the market. There's actually not even that many that have sold over the last 2 years through auction. You might have been able to get maybe like 4 and then add in a light blue or something and a white, which that's what we're talking about here. Obviously, it's a lot more difficult to stack 10 of the same, but investing 10 of the similar like cards would have done you 4 times better, or at least 3.5 or so, 3.25 than the impeccable patch auto of Luka. The same thing applies here, is that 99% of people could spend $96 versus $990. Generally, what we see is if you buy in volume and you are willing to do the work, you're willing to grade, you're willing to be flexible, you're willing to hold multiple cards, you're willing to do the listing, the shipping, the scanning, all that stuff, you oftentimes can end up better as long as you know what you're buying. And we say that because there's often times that you could go, and I didn't even bring up an example like this. I mean, I chose a good patch auto here. Impeccable is a good patch autograph. People actually want that card to invest. I could have went and picked something like a Vanguard patch auto of Chronicles. That would have been way worse than the 1,415%. There's a lot of noise out there in the market. And if you're not buying the right card for investment, collecting, buy what you like. But if you're not buying the right card, it makes it very, very difficult to actually see those gains. Go ahead, Nate.
Just an example from Aaron in my past. And it doesn't even have to be, one name brand thing like Select and one secondary brand like Impeccable. Even though Impeccable is very nice, it's not National Treasures and it's not flawless. Right. It's not immaculate. Just in our experience, we bought a Nate Pearson Red Wave.
Yeah.
Number 5 for $300. Graded it ourselves, graded it BGS. That was the thing to do at the time. And got 600 for it. So the BGS 9.5, and after a good year and a half and him shooting up the prospect rankings for 2 years, we sold it for double. In that same time, you could have gotten a Nate Pearson non-graded base auto, I'm pretty sure.
$10.
$10 to $15, depending on shipping, and sold it for $45 to $50 at the same time. And you would have netted substantially more money if you just put that $300 into base autos than the Red Wave. So it doesn't even have to be a secondary brand to a name brand thing. It can be just a higher numbered card in the same set to like a base.
Yeah, and clearly Red Wave isn't the cream of the crop. It's not the true red. But then again, beggars can't be choosers when you're buying high-end Bowman Chrome. I mean, we had a Red Wave ending on auction. I think there's probably some eBay bucks. We were in person together. We had,
if I remember correctly, we had like a 15% off coupon, which eBay doesn't do anymore.
You're right. That's what it was. Not it might have been eBay bucks too, but it was definitely a 15% off coupon. That was pretty wild actually to think about that they're actually doing that. 15% off. They're only collecting 10% of the fees.
Could you imagine?
No, they get abused. They will lose so much money. But and hey, that's a great point, Nate. That is how much the sports car market's grown in the past 2 years. They used to send out 50% coupons to lose money to get people to buy cards. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
But wild stuff. And yeah, we sat there and we looked and we're like, wow, we could have went like 4x. And even with grading too, then it would have been even wilder than just the base autos.
Yeah.
All right, next example. Now, this is kind of what I'm talking about when we talk about like a super inferior card. So we got the Wander Franco first Bowman Chrome base PSA 10 non-auto versus the top 100 insert. Could have bought the base Chrome PSA 10 for $30 on November 11th, 2019. $30 for that card, Nate. The top 100 insert was $10 at the time, which is clearly you're losing money on a PSA 10 grade of a Wander Franco card. That is ridiculous to think about. You grading for $8, you're buying the card for 50 cents probably, and even after fees and shipping, I mean, you're definitely down money.
You're negative, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a you have to bring it to a show and try to get $1.
Right.
That's brutal.
Now here's the thing. So this is honestly, I thought that this would be way more of a difference between these two percentages. So the Bowman Chrome base PSA 10, 817% ROI. The top 100 PSA 10, 500%. I really do think if PSA wasn't as big of a brand right now, I think that so much of that 500% gain is just because of how hard it is to grade PSA cards now. Get PSA 10s.
Come talk to me when that insert right there is $100+.
You have one?
I do have some at PSA, but I sent them in because I think it's going to probably he's going to get called up and people are going to go crazy and they're not going to be able to get Chromes or Mojos or colored or autos, and they're going to move they've moved to paper, and then they're
Yeah.
going to move to the lowest rung, which is this top 100 insert.
I wish it said he's the number 1 prospect on there because it'd be way cooler instead of number 4.
Yeah.
But I will say that I'm not saying it's a bad card. I was just saying that, like, I feel like so much of that $60 right now is made up because of how you can't grade that card by PSA right now, or even like 2 months ago. You know, like, I don't think inherently that card's probably worth $60, but it makes sense that once you get PSA 10, that it is. So, still pretty wild to see. You know, like, that's a case of, you know, buy if you didn't know. I think a lot of people could probably bump up to a $30 spend versus a $10 spend for that card. We're not looking at like a $900 or $1,000 swing potentially on a card. So I'm feeling pretty good saying that, like, this is definitely a situation to where knowing what the card is to buy makes a big difference. If you come into the sports cards for the first time, you could probably very easily make a mistake just thinking you're buying a Bowman Chrome Franco PSA 10, and, you know, it all is good. And you see a $20 price difference, so you might think, oh, you know, it's worth it to save the $20. But, you know, in the end, you're definitely missing on like $100 after if you bought 3 of those top 100 insert PSA 10s.
Yeah. So, I mean, still really good. Hey, quick comment here. Nate, thoughts on Luciano? Buy him. Buy him. I think he is going to, if he is not a top 5 prospect by the end of the year, I will be absolutely shocked.
And you got
Water and Julio Rodriguez get called up.
Yeah.
He's probably number 1.
I got you.
And Andrew Vaughn's getting called up, and Adley Rutschman might get called up, and yeah.
Well, what about your Mojo PSA 10?
Yeah, I'm holding on to it.
I'm just making sure that people know you got the Mojo PSA 10.
Oh yeah, I have various cards of guys that I've pulled over the years and will grade and hold. I love Mojos. I just bought a Robert Powson Mojo the other day, PSA 9.
For sure.
Wow, that's very, very random. Look at the comment. Yep, just bought a PSA 9 the other day. That was wild. That popped up at the exact same time that left my mouth.
Robert Powson?
Yeah.
For a top 5 prospect?
No. I had said I just bought a Mojo of him the other day, and then that came up.
Gotcha. Oh, the sun's hitting me in the face right now. All right, next slide. Soccer example for you. I know there's a lot of soccer fans in here potentially. We are looking. This is more of a short-term example. So we got January 31st and January 24th. Very short-term, 3 months. I guess 3 months now. And we're looking at the Messi Silver PSA 9 versus the Messi Red and Blue Wave from 2018 Prism World Cup. And I saw, who was that earlier? T206 brought up the red, white, and blue from basketball. Well, this is kind of the equivalent for soccer. 50% ROI gain in the last 2 to 3 months, spending $80 going to 120. I know that this is a PSA 9. I know that it's not the same as a non-graded card. I know you can maybe grade that Ruby or the red and blue wave and make up some ROI there. But let's just be real. If you're spending $80 and you're spending $152, I mean, you're still spending that money, and you're not getting that Messi graded that quickly. So the amount of money you're spending still matters, and the card still matters. Even if it is a PSA 9, it's another option to buy. And that gained 179% in the last 3 months. So it's tripling the ROI output of that red and blue wave from 2018 Prism World Cup, which is crazy. I mean, it really does matter what cards you're buying. It really does matter. And I don't want that to just get like brushed away. And now that we're 25 minutes in, and those might have joined later in the show, we want to make sure that you know that this is all ROI focused. This is all investment focused. That does not mean that we don't like collecting cards. Nate and I both have cards for many years that we have that have gained no value, and we love them because we're collecting them. We just want to bring up that there's definitely a point here to, if you're investing in cards for the monetary benefit only, you can buy the wrong card. You can. It's just fact. And we want to make sure that people are thinking about that, you know, because we hear stories of people saying like, oh, shoot, if only I bought the right card. I had the guy, but I had the wrong card. And that's the worst. When you're really right on a guy and you don't buy the right card and you see other cards like triple in value and you're just sitting there like, oh, my card barely moved. You know, that's not fun if you're trying to sell it.
And it really depends on market. Like basketball, optic moves, select moves, prism moves, right? Hoops moves, Donruss moves. National Treasures moves. But like for baseball, big market, but smaller market, you've got your Bowman Chrome, you've got your Topps Flagship, you've got your Topps Chrome. Topps Heritage is like next in line, but it just doesn't move as much. We covered that in the first one, but even like not even just like the dual auto Aaron covered first, like a Topps Chrome or Topps Heritage Chrome refractors, really nice card, number to 569, depending on the year. And you look at the price rise on those bad boys compared to like just like a Vlad Guerrero Topps Chrome PSA 10. And even though it's a significantly better card, I'd much rather have it. You'd definitely be better off buying, Vlad Guerrero Topps Chromes earlier than you would of his refractors.
Right.
Which literally makes no sense.
This is a good point here. Really good point. I'm not really sure like what's the right card, hobby versus retail. I'm just going to assume you're asking like hobby versus retail. Talk to me about the cards and what comes out of it. So for this specific Messi example, we have the Prism red and blue wave. That's only in retail, only in the hanger packs. Can you get those? And then the silver is hobby packs. Now you also can get silvers out of retail packs, but I'd say hobby packs is like probably where you get more of them. And also silver is a very in-demand parallel, very sought after. The retail-only parallels, unless it's something that's really branded well, like the Genesis from Mosaic, or if it's something that's very retail exclusive and very sought after, like the Purple Pulsars 35 from Prism, they're not as desirable. And I will say you kind of need to go case by case because you might get a Topps foil in a retail pack for baseball, and it's in a hobby box too, and clearly foils are sought after. Like they just are. Now, I will bring this up. Nate, have you been looking at any of the 2021 Topps Series 1 foil rookies from this year? Dude, Joe Adell's like $8, $8 to $10. And
well, dude, I've been seeing posts all over of boxes here, boxes there, boxes everywhere.
So my point is that they printed so much of this compared to any other year. And this was Topps's. I think this was kind of the response to like no one's getting cards. It's like, let's just print this set to the absolute moon and see what happens and get product in stores because like I'm $8 might be too low. Maybe it's like $20. Okay. But one of the top two rookies from the previous year says for sure not like $20 not ungraded,
Yeah.
So
it just goes to show you buy golds, buy blacks and Independence Days if you can, buy camos, buy Mother's Days and Father's Days colors.
Yeah. And
actually a good point similar to your other point is that Mother's Day pink and Father's Day blue only comes out of retail. Right?
Yep.
And yet you look at the prices on those bad boys compared to a black, which I think can come out of both. I could be wrong. And is way lower. You get a Alec Baum pink and you get an Alec Baum black, even though the black is numbered higher, it is going to be significantly more expensive. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be better if there was just one numbered to 50. I don't know.
One would probably help, but definitely just desirability. And, black has been in there for a long time.
But pink's been there a long time. Not as long as black.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Independence Days are as new as 2018, and they're more expensive than pinks.
Sure. Hey, when I open up those two 2021 Topps jumbo boxes, Series 1, I think 2 or 3 golds out 2021 between both boxes. 2 or 3.
Dude, I've opened 10 Topps hanger boxes, 2 gravity feed packs, and 2 cello packs.
Yeah.
I've maybe hit 2 golds. I've maybe hit like 6 foils and 1 rookie foil of Jesus Sanchez. Oh, that Jesus Sanchez rookie foil came out of a hobby box. So I think I've hit no rookie colored.
Yeah, I think that
I
think Alec Baum like gold foil is like $60 too, which seems low, but we always have to remember like what does production run do to a player's rookie card, which is just why like you look at 2015 Prism Booker PSA 10 and it's like the same price as Luka PSA 10, while so many more people want Luka and the demand's way higher, market cap way higher. It all has to do with the production. You can't compare straight up player to player because the years are so different. This is an interesting point here from N Massive. If Topps Heritage made an all chrome brand, think like Stadium Club Chrome or Allen and Gintner Chrome, didn't they do that last year?
They did.
It would be the most popular baseball card. I think it'd be interesting. I think that it'd be really cool. The problem is I think phasing in something like that now is just too late. I mean, it's hard to beat out all those years of your Topps update, your Topps Chrome update. Like, it's just hard to introduce something and be the most popular. Now, I do think it'd do well. I think it'd be cool. I also think that Heritage struggles in areas compared to Topps Chrome and Topps Chrome Update and Topps Series 1, Series 2. But I do, and Topps Chrome too. But I do really think that the fact that the Chromes are short printed, they're numbered out of 999. The refractors are like, 570, 569, depending on the year, 571. And the blacks are numbered out of 71, 72, depending on the year. I think that makes them actually that much more desirable. And those cards are very investable. Like those are cards that I think gain really good ROI over time versus just maybe the base PSA 10s from Heritage, just because there's not that much upside or like luster to them. But the Chrome set is very much comparable to Topps Gold, out of 2021. It's always numbered.
Yeah.
Or very comparable to
the white Chrome, Topps Heritage Chrome white, numbered to 71 this year.
That was nice. That was last year too. They did that because of the black border.
Excellent.
Really nice. I remember last year.
I mean last year for Luis Robert and Bo Bichette and stuff.
Yeah, very nice card. Very nice card. So cool. I love the Heritage Chrome.
Oh no, I think I forgot. One last point. So PSA, talking about the foil being printed up to the wazoo and it being impossible to find gold or any numbered cards. Or even like Walmart, I opened up 6 Target hanger boxes, didn't get a single Target red of even a vet, right? So even like that type of stuff's hard to hit. No short prints in any of the boxes I've hit, even the hobby box, not a single short print. And if prices are $25 and they printed 20 million Alec Baum rookies, you're not even going to get $25 for a PSA 10.
No, and in reality, I mean, I should have looked at the pack odds from this year's jumbo to last year's jumbo. I don't have a last year's jumbo pack, but it'd be interesting to see because it will tell you. I'm pretty sure it'll tell you how many packs you get foils. I mean, it's for sure 1-in-1 now. I don't know if it was ever 1-in-1 for 2019 Series 2 foils. Probably not. Yeah, every jumbo pack. I doubt you're getting a foil in every jumbo pack. Maybe I'm wrong here. I don't remember.
Well, I don't know about jumbos, but for just hanger boxes, I loved hanger boxes, right?
Well, wait, really quick. I just realized I'm dumb. The odds don't matter. If it's 1-in-1 and they print 20,000 boxes or 50,000 boxes, it's still 1-in-1 pack and there's still half the amount. Okay, but go ahead.
Yeah. Just talking about odds here. I used to love hanger boxes because every hanger box I'd open up, I was getting at least a foil or a gold every single time. Now I have gotten 2 foils of 2 vets and 6 hanger boxes. No golds.
Wow. Yeah.
See, most of the time it's just some crappy vet insert from Topps, Thurman Munson retro insert.
And you know what's going to come with that though? Lower box prices. You won't be able to rip the boxes that you can get a gold or foil in every hanger, because those are now $80 for a hanger for Series 2 versus your retail now you can get what, $10 on the Series 1. So I get it, but definitely there's some changes with that. And what I really should say is let's say that gold's out 2020, and obviously there's a 1 number print difference between last year's set and this year's set. If those were 1 in every 3 jumbo packs, which means that, or 1 in every 2 to keep the math. No, 1 in every 2 this year. No, that's dumb. Whatever I'm trying to say. 1 in every 5 last year, so 2 per jumbo box. But this year it's not even 1 per box. If it were, you'd anticipate 3 times or more the production run of this year's set, which I think is for sure true, and maybe even 4 times or more.
And people think 16,000 run of Lacuna PSA 10s are bad, and inevitably going to be 21,000 PSA 10 Tatises or whatever it ends up being. It's going to be more than Acuna probably, unless it's harder to grade. The total graded, I guess, to be fair, would be more, you'd assume. And then last year, Luis Robert, somebody like that, should move up. I can't even imagine what Alec Baum's going to be. Joe Adele.
See, but here's the thing: is that if they don't lower the prices, we won't see that then.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, if they keep it at $25,
Yeah.
you have to send in through a group submitter for $25.
It'll be tough to get those cards graded, so we'll see. I mean, it'll be really fun to track.
That could actually be a good thing then, huh?
It would increase the values on them,
but then people are going to see the first couple are going to come out and they're going to be like, oh, they're $125 because there's not that many. I'm going to send them in for $25. And then there's going to be, a bajillion out there and the prices are going to drop to 40.
It's going to be really weird to see because we haven't had this in the past, something that can actually cause a different market dynamic. It's just if it's worth it, send in, like if it's going to be worth something in the future, which is crazy to see it all adjust. Okay. Let's talk about some things. So Slab Stocks breaks last week on Tuesday. 2 Revolution boxes, one 2017, one 2020, yielded a Kobe Impact insert, which was sweet. The Paul George Galactic, which is 1 in 8 boxes. An Astro Donovan Mitchell rookie, which is also sweet. And a LaMelo Ball Redemption Auto, which is also 1 in 8 boxes that you can get an autograph. So super rare hits out of 2 boxes. It was insane. It was like $30 a spot or something, 33, and a couple of people got some sweet cards for that, which is really cool. Really cool. And with that being said, this week we have a few budget breaks left. So on the far right, I'm sorry, Nate, my plans to open 2019 Top Series 2 hanger and blaster boxes tomorrow. My bad. But sometimes, baseball's kicking off. I'm in Florida. You're up there. I just got to do it. So if y'all want, join in on that. Let's see if we can get those Series 2 gold or foil of Fernando Tatis.
Last time we ripped, we hit a Fernando Tatis base and then a card in the middle and then a Fernando Tatis 150 stamp.
We did. So how about this time I hit a gold and one up you?
I like it. Do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so then we also have 2020 Prism EPL cereal boxes, which is I think like 8 spots left in that. And then we have 9 packs left of the 2019 Prism EPL hobby, which is the first production run of Prism EPL, including Phil Foden's rookie card. Although it doesn't have the rookie logo, it still sells super well. Christian Pulisic, Mo Salah. There's a lot of other great EPL players in that set that are sought after, and Marcus Rashford and Color Blast and Kabooms. Really, really cool set with a high odds of getting number parallels because of the low production run for the first year, which is great. Always like that. All right, so that's slabstocks.com/shop. Those all break tomorrow, so you don't have to wait a week to see them get open. They break tomorrow. If you want to join in on the last few spots, we'd appreciate that a lot. Or share it with some friends that like soccer or baseball cards as well. Now we're at the point where you all should submit some questions to the live. What up, Nate?
Consider me an idiot about soccer cards.
Sure.
Why did they choose English Premier League and not or did they? Did they do France League cards or German League cards or?
So first off, France League is terrible outside of PSG, so they don't make French League cards. Like it's called Liga 1. I might have said that wrong, but I think it's Liga 1. They do make Italian cards Serie A, but that's in a Chronicle set where it comes like the 3 mini boxes. One's an EPL, one's a La Liga, and then one's a Serie A for Italy. They are just introducing Mosaic for La Liga, but as Tom Am says, EPL is king. English Premier League is by far the biggest league in all of soccer, club league. La Liga is way up there. Bundesliga has top.
What about like Real Madrid?
Real Madrid and Barcelona are in La Liga,
those places.
The Spanish league.
Okay,
but Bundesliga is the German league, which they have made Topps Chrome Bundesliga for the last 2 years. Now it's also a license deal because Panini has got the EPL, and they also have La Liga, but Topps has got Champions League, which combines a bunch of different ones of those, and also Bundesliga. So that's why you don't necessarily see all these other ones. PSG and Lille are worth making a Chrome Liga 1 set. So, if you think about it, Bundesliga's got a few really nice teams. If the French league has got PSG and now this Lille team, I think is above them right now on the table. I hope I didn't say that super wrong. Lille, it's probably something really like French, but Lille, that's what I'll say. All right, there's a lot of questions coming in. So submit your questions and we'll get to them right now for the next 20 or so minutes. Any thoughts on the 2006 World Cup soccer box? So we happen to have one of those for Slab Stocks breaks still. We are holding on to one just so everyone knows. I love the set. You got some of the best players of all time in that set. The first time we opened the box, we hit all of the cards. We hit the Messi and the Ronaldo. Not much more to say. That's one of the first international actual card sets made for World Cup. I think it was the very first for the World Cup set lineage. So very, very important box for soccer. Nate, if you see any, just pull them up and go for it.
Okay.
Thoughts on Christian Pulisic? He scored this past weekend. I actually watched the game, the Chelsea game, and they got taken out. I think as soccer grows, as USA demand grows, Christian Pulisic grows. As the USA team gets better for 2022 and 2026, there's no reason why he won't grow with that. As long as he stays healthy, he's been injured quite a bit, though.
Sell or hold Ohtani? Definitely hold. Obviously, you all saw it maybe you didn't all see it, but yesterday he hit a 150 something foot home run at 150 miles per hour velocity, and also threw a 101 mile per hour pitch in the same inning. If you're wondering, that's probably never been done before in the history of baseball, and that's the type of stuff that's not grow on trees. Neither the exit velocity or distance, or the ability to throw 101. The fact that he can do both. If he can get 150 innings, 170 innings in the year, and be a mid-threes ERA guy, and if he can hit 270, 280 with a 340, 350 on base and like a 500 slugging, 850 OPS type of guy, you're looking at probably a 10 win above replacement player, maybe at 9-8 at the very least. And if you're an 8 win above replacement player, you're probably pretty close to being the MVP, depending on what Mike Trout or some random other really, really good player in the American League does. But, Lindor's gone, Mookie Betts is gone now. So outside of Trout, it's pretty wide open for the American League. No Tatis, no Juan Soto, no Ronald Acuna, no Christian Yelich. National League is stacked. And so I would hold. I would definitely hold.
Nate, let me sauce you a really quick thing here that you should not take too long to respond to. But what about selling a few and holding a few? Because what if he does get injured again? Because he did just jump maybe 2.5 times in the last month and a half to 2 months.
So what you're saying is hedge your bets, defend yourself. Yeah, that's always a good idea because Ohtani has not shown he can stay healthy yet. And, it'd be the same if a guy like Nick Senzel blew up and you're like, man, I really love this guy for the future. Well, he's been injured for 4 of the last 4 years. If you got an injury-prone guy and he explodes, sell a couple and then hold on to the rest and see what happens. If you're playing with house money at that point, if you sell enough where you cover what you bought, you're good. And then the rest is either you sell at a lower point, but you still make that's all profit, or you sell higher and make more profit.
When can we send Nate to Europe? I'm assuming so he can understand the soccer leagues. Nate can hop on his computer and understand the soccer leagues.
But you can send me to Europe. We'll hit up the bars.
Send me there too, and we'll go to some soccer games and do some soccer.
I'll probably get beat up because I'll call it soccer.
That football?
I'll be like, look at that soccer guy kick that ball. Wow.
When does Haaland come to Select? I'm assuming a Select set for soccer cards. Fingers crossed that he does come to Select in the next issue, which I hope they don't tie to the Euro, which would be 4 years from now. So they shouldn't. I would not be surprised if they make Prism World Cup and Select World Cup, and you never know, maybe Optic World Cup and Mosaic World Cup. Try to capitalize as much as possible on the World Cup when the time comes because of how much soccer demand there is and will be. We've only seen Prism World Cup in the past. There's never been another Select or Optic or any of that stuff. Now we have seen a Prism Euro. Then they did Select Euro preview for 2020. I would not be surprised if this summer they come up with a Prism Euro set or something on the fly. But I really do hope we see Haaland in Select set soon because I love Select and Haaland's a stud. Now, he didn't make it into the Euro set. Norway didn't qualify at the time, and they also didn't qualify after that. They produced that set, so they didn't put him in there, but hopefully in the next one. All right. For basketball cards, if you submit to CSG, what will the price difference be from PSA? So let's talk let's talk about before PSA suspended their services. With that being said, keep in mind that you cannot actually submit to PSA at these prices right now. But Molly, thank you for the question. So PSA was taking group submission rates at around $25. You could probably send $25 to $30. You could send to someone that sends for you. If you had to submit through their website, it would have been either $50 and then they canceled that, so then it was $100. So CSG, it depends on how quick you want it back, but I know it ranged anywhere from like $8 to $25. $8 is going to be like, I guarantee that CSG is going to have a huge backlog for that $8 grading. It's going to be like 6 months to over that probably pretty soon here. But you definitely have to pay up a little bit more to get the quicker grading, which could be between $25 and I think like $75 about. So go on to CSG's website though and look up CSG grading rates, and that will definitely solve that question for you more so than me just assuming or guessing.
Jason Dominguez, stock up now or wait? Aaron, how much cheaper is the Jason Dominguez PSA 10 Bowman Chrome PSA 10 than Wander Franco?
It's probably like $100 more.
It's not. It's not. It is in fact cheaper, but how much cheaper?
Oh, it's cheaper?
Yeah.
The only reason why I said that so people don't think I'm an idiot is because of the population report and the amount that have been graded. That's the only reason I said it, because there's been like 8,000 Wander Francos graded, and I imagine maybe like 2,000 Jason Dominguez. I don't know, maybe like $50.
25. And like Aaron said, that population report is going to rise. Is going to rise in the next couple months because there is a lot of cards that are about to get graded by PSA. And he hasn't done anything yet. Are we all excited about his skills? Yes. Wander Franco is the number one prospect in baseball and is $25 more expensive. I know pop reports and stuff. All that screams to me is that Jason Dominguez's market, for as excited as people are, and I know, and we all know that hype sells cards more than production. I think 275 is a bit too healthy for the Jason Dominguez market, all things considered. And I would wait on stocking up and maybe let the hype die down a little bit. Season gets going on. Minor league season hasn't started. Hopefully his prices will drop a little bit, especially as pop report keeps rising, and then buy in.
I personally love rainbow foils and hate that they keep upping the production so much. I don't like that either because I do love them as well. But do you think earlier years of rainbow foils for the big rookies will still hold good value? I think they'll hold great value. If anything, they'll rise because of that. I mean, we see that with as production goes up so much on silver prisms, on Revolution, whatever you want out of that, base cards even in Revolution, whatever you see, like when a set starts to get really big and production increases, the previous year's sets go up even more then because people realize the scarcity, understand what players are in what sets, and they attract to that. So I think it's a great hold if you have foils of, let's say, Acuna PSA 10, Soto PSA 10. Beautiful cards. I pulled an Acuna foil PSA 10. Great at it myself. I bought a jumbo box on Black Friday for $80. Yeah, you heard that right. Topps update jumbo box for $80 on Black Friday. I think like 2018 or 19. 18 probably. Yeah, it was definitely 18. And I graded the foil for $8 and got a 10. And I sold it for $170. So shame on me for that, but sweet card. And here we go. One more here. So Kevin, we got a lot more actually. Kevin, I'm new to the hobby as a huge collector in the 80s. I'm blown away how you can keep track of all these new cards and all the variations. Hey, Kevin, I appreciate that. And I definitely feel for anyone coming back into the hobby that did not grow up with the new cards because, man, there's a steep learning curve. Nate, imagine walking in today not knowing anything and watching this video. It'd be tough. It'd be tough. And with that being said, if you're new to this right now and you're watching this video, Slab Stocks 101 YouTube playlist will help you an insane amount. We walk through so many different sets, so many different information about new cards, old cards. We'll have a little bit about old cards and a lot about the hobby. So please check that out if you're new. I do apologize if there are terms we're using that you might not be familiar with, but there's always a way to learn. So that's great. And there's a lot.
Something to be said about us keeping track of variations. Obviously, we've had and brands and stuff. Obviously, we've had years, and we look at prices every night because it's our job. That being said, just go on to eBay. Follow what other people said, but just go on to eBay and look stuff up. Look up Topps Chrome and look up Topps Series 2 and look at the price differences and all that stuff, and you'll start remembering it and learning organically. Yeah. Without needing anybody to teach you anything.
I agree, and I also do think that like the best way to get that down is through trial, and then some error just comes with that. But you have to be rating Cardboard Connection and the different checklists and the different parallels per set. If you go to cardboardconnection.com, phenomenal resource. Cannot tell you how many times I've used that in my last 12 years of collecting. Go into there, look up a set, look up a year, see what sets come from each year. I mean, there's so much learning to be had. You just need to be in the right spots. Cardboard Connection, great place. Reference eBay off of that. You can go to Slab Stocks 101 because we show you how to use both of those, actually, them PSA pop reports. Like, there's really a lot to learn between those three resources, and it gets a lot easier the more you do it, too.
And it's a good thing to point out again, like we started out at the beginning, you can go and you can learn the variations, and you'll probably say to yourself, Mother's Day pink out of 50, that's better than a black out of 67. When in fact, blacks go for more expensive because it's the whole return on investment thing that we had at the beginning of this YouTube live. And, there's various steps to learn, but if you just if you take, what would you say, 30 minutes a night, instead of nighttime reading, take 30 minutes to look at eBay and go through Cardboard Connection and just pick one set. If you're interested in baseball or you're interested in basketball, start with, 2021 Prism and then move to 2020 Prism and then 2019 and then maybe move on to Optic and then move on to Select or something and just learn one by one.
Yeah, and I'm serious. If you do an 8 set, you go and you start looking at 2012 Prism basketball when it was first made, compare that to 2019 Prism, the last set that's been actively graded because the new set just came out like a week ago. You'll really see a world's difference year over year over year over year. You'll see, 1 year production doubles. We assume based off of PSA population reports. The next year it triples, that type of thing. Like, very interesting stuff.
Oh, and one last thing. Who was that for?
That was for Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Kevin, one last thing. PWCC.com market price research tool is your friend. If you use that, you can look back for 15 years. As long as you type in what you want. 2019 Prism, Zion Williamson, blah blah blah, pink ice or whatever, PSA 10, and you'll get that, and you can track the prices for as far back as it goes.
Agreed. Okay, playoff basketball equals modern basketball rise. I've been thinking a lot about this recently, thinking about the cyclical nature of the sports card market, and we have seen kind of a soft basketball market, especially the modern. Even the vintage stuff took a dip over the last 2 months, I'd say. End of January, scorching hot. The last 2 months, very cool compared to that. I do think that we'll see a modern basketball rise going into the playoffs. I think excitement always has to be high to capture attention. And I just don't think that excitement was that high between, the middle of the season after the All-Star game. People are just kind of like, yeah, basketball. But once that excitement starts to come and you start to see playoff seedings and matchups and storylines start to get written and people start to add to their legacy, that's when people try to cash in on getting those guys before that starts to happen. So I'd imagine a month and a half before, well, actually I should say a month because we're just about there. Maybe in the next few weeks, I think we could start to see an uptick. I'm not saying that for sure. I just think that it's either then or it's going to next season. It's definitely not after the season. It's probably not going to dip much. It might dip for certain players quite a bit, but I couldn't imagine from right now it being much lower over the summer unless it spikes really, really hard in the playoffs. But I don't envision our bubble-like situation happening this year.
Hey, quick question. Did you see the Sam Darnold trade today?
I did see the Sam Darnold trade. A second-round pick, fourth round, and sixth round, it seemed like.
So a second and fourth in 2023 2022 and a sixth round in 2021.
I mean, what is that? That's like a paper bag with a sandwich in it for a return, right?
Pretty much. I mean, second rounder is nice, but a sixth rounder this year and a fourth rounder a year in advance.
Yeah, but the second round is a year from now too.
Yeah, and not that big of a deal. So for me, if I'm like a team like the Bears and I'm prepared to run into the year with
Andy Dalton,
I'm probably kicking myself for not at least trying for Sam Darnold for that price.
I'd way rather have Sam Darnold for that package.
At least you have the upside. I mean, look at the Jets. I saw they were ranked in Sam Darnold's 3 years. They were ranked 11th, 2nd, and 10th in worst luck for offensive injuries. So they had like the 11th, 10th, and second most offensive injuries in football in his 3 years. They had Adam Gase, who's the world's worst coach. And his top wide receiver that entire time was like Robbie Anderson, who I think is now on the Panthers, actually. But still, Robbie Anderson was like his top wide receiver. Now you get to move to a team that has Christian McCaffrey, who's better than any player he's ever played with. Robbie Anderson still, I think. Curtis Samuel, if he's still there. And I don't know if he is. But it's 100% a better situation for him than the Jets were. And while it's still not like a great situation, you're not moving to like the Bears, who had Mooney and Allen Robinson. You got Christian McCaffrey, which is a very nice security blanket.
Yeah, but I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, what's going to happen there too? It's interesting.
Well, I just think they realized that he wasn't the guy to lead them anywhere, so you might as well go young.
I mean, I agree with it. Nate, great to hear your thoughts on Bowman Platinum and the top prospect cards like the Wander Franco. I'm assuming that's what the question was on.
So I assume it's Bowman Platinum top prospect cards.
Oh, top prospects from Bowman Platinum.
One and the same.
Okay.
This kind of goes back to my talk about Topps Heritage earlier, and I just don't think the baseball market's big enough where you can support Bowman Chrome product, Topps flagship product, Topps Chrome product, and then the secondary tiers, which would be your Bowman Platinum and your Topps Finest and your Topps Heritage. And Topps Heritage is like in a second tier of its own.
I was going to say that.
And then third tier would be Bowman Platinum, Topps Finest,
Bowman's Best,
Stadium Club, Allen and Ginter, all that stuff. Allen and Ginter is kind of a weird niche thing on its own because it's got like the random egg cards and the Bitcoin cards and like the Post Malone autographs, right?
People chase that for different reasons.
Yeah. It's not really a complete baseball product, so maybe I should take it out of that list. But that being said, I just don't think there's enough interest to really spike the prices on that. So going back to Aaron's return on investment, yes, I do think if you buy Bowman Platinum cards of the right guy, you will make a return on your investment, probably a decently healthy one. That being said, if you sunk the same amount of money or put a little bit more money forward and bought a Bowman Chrome card of a guy, you would make significantly more.
We're talking a situation like this, but instead of spending $10 on top 100 prospect, you spend $10 on Bowman Platinum.
Yeah.
Similar situation.
I guarantee you the $10 on Bowman Platinum would return you much less than 500%.
Yeah, it'd be even worse than that probably. I agree. How important is it for Haaland's market that Norway qualifies for Euros and World Cup tournaments in the near future? So they did not qualify for the Euro for this summer. I do not know what their standing is right now for World Cup for 2022. Imagine that they have a decent shot to make it. I think it's important, but only as important as it is how he plays in Champions League, because I feel like, well, it's so important to play in those World Cups. I think it'd be actually pretty devastating if Norway didn't make it with Haaland. Also, I heard he could say that he could play for England, but instead he opted for Norway. I don't know if someone can take that back, but if I was him, I'd be like, shoot, I want to go to England like right now. England's loaded. I think if he keeps on dominating Champions League and like setting records for most goal scoring in that, I think that'll definitely carry his market very far. But it is pretty important to be in that World Cup. That's a big time event. All right, let's get a couple more here up.
One thing to point out that I think Will Sani said correctly, if I said his last name right, make small purchases while you learn. Don't go crazy. And that's a very good point. Don't go out and buy. You like Marco Luciano. I wouldn't go out and buy a $700 Bowman Chrome auto of Marco Luciano.
Unless you had proportionate money to spending you $10.
Unless you're making absurd amounts of money and $700 is like $10 to me, then sure, do your thing. But I would definitely go out and find the brands you like, find the guys you like, and then buy a Bowman Chrome of him, buy a Prism base of this guy, and then once you start making those small profits, you buy a card for 30 and you sell it for 60, and it gets addicting. And if you learned a little bit along the way, then I would move my money into larger and larger things.
It's the place I go with.
Whoop. Classic call. All right, one more here, and then we'll be done for. You take that one.
When do you
Oh.
think? Oh, what?
No, go ahead, read it.
When do you think PSA will return, and do you think another grading company could take over as number one?
I think they'll return. I think they'll probably bring back some submissions in June by maybe the end of July. I know what they said July 1 was their plan to bring all services back. I'd assume end of July, beginning of August, they'll have their services back. June, they'll open up maybe the $150 grading through them. I don't think any other company is going to take over number one in these 3 months off. There's just no way. I mean, do you know, there's going to be so much work to be done to take over number one. It could take 10 years. That's how many cards they have graded. That's how many cards they still have to grade right now. And that's how big their brand is too.
And here's the thing. PSA has all these. They just got bought for $930 million. They have so many resources behind them, and they have the logjam of cards. If somebody else were going to take over, they're going to inevitably get a logjam of cards, but not have vast amount of resources that they can throw at it.
Yep.
PSA right now is like a mountain that you just have to climb, and you can't go through, and you can't really move. It's just there, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
No, I mean, think about it. To become number one, you have to be grading volume. You have to be providing great secondary market value. If you're not grading volume, you can't be number one. If you can't get people's cards graded who all want them graded, you just can't be number one. I know a PSA is obviously not taking cards right now, so I get it, but that's a 3-month layoff to get all their other cards graded. So they're still grading people's cards. If you can't pledge resources to do all that, like Nate just said, it's nearly impossible. It really is. And you might see a couple cards from different grading services sell for more than maybe a PSA 10 here or there, but that does not mean that they're number one. I just want people to know that.
My best analogy I can say is that this is like starting a race with Usain Bolt, and all you're doing is jockeying for second place because you know you're not going to win. So
Yes.
SBC and Beckett and HGA and CSG and whoever else in the world is out there trying to start grading companies, they are not trying to surpass PSA because I really think it's an insurmountable object at this point. They're just trying to get second place market share, which is still significant amount of money.
I agree. And that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing to be the second biggest grading company. You're going to do so well. You know, like if you're second biggest grading company and you actually are, you know, claim, because right now I don't think there's really a second. Beckett for years was number one, and then I'd say they're number two. But I think they're not doing anything to innovate or make their services better, you know, so I don't think that they're willing or deserving to maybe sit in that spot. Just my own opinion. Please, Beckett faithfuls, don't try to roast me for that. I've already had that in the past. But y'all get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. Let's shut it down. That is the show for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And now this comment's stuck on the screen because I don't know where it is. But thanks, everyone, for what?
I said classic.
Oh, well, you get to see Jonah here to end it. Thank you, Jonah, for the question. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Another great show. 6 p.m. Eastern time next Monday. Same exact time as right now. And don't forget, if y'all want to watch some packs get open tomorrow, some breaks go down. 3 p.m.
Top Series 2?
Top Series 2.
2019 Top Series 2?
Yep, 2019 Top Series 2, 2020 Prism EPL. But we are also opening our first box of 2020 Prism NBA first off the line. That's already sold out, so I didn't show it today. That's already sold out like within the day. But there are 3 breaks left. Slabstocks.com/shop to join for tomorrow. Some budget breaks available. Definitely the cheapest we were able to offer. So get in if you want to have some fun with us. And we'll see you at 3 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Have a great night. Enjoy the national championship game tonight. I'm very excited. I was very bummed. I really wanted UCLA to win. I actually would have won my tournament bracket if they did win.
Oof.
But Jalen Suggs is the man. I played against him in high school. And I don't know if I told you, Nate, before. I'm sure you might have read it. But he's in 8th grade.
Yeah, I've heard. Can I admit something?
What?
This is shameful for me to admit. Saturday, super busy. Birthday party and family over at the house. And we were busy. I was in the kitchen doing dishes for like 2 hours. Completely forgot. Turn on Twitter, and all I see is like 80 tweets in a row about how it was the greatest game in the history of the world.
Nate,
and I've never been more bummed in my entire life about a sporting event that I do not have a rooting interest in than right there when I felt like I had missed. I felt like I'd like missed a family member's funeral type of thing.
Nate, check this out. Okay, so all my friends, huge sports fans, you know that. We're both huge sports fans. All my friends watch all the games. You missed the game, which I didn't know about until now. My roommate Jared missed the game. And my friend Alan missed the game. So three of the biggest sports fans I know all missed the best basketball game I've ever seen in my life, probably.
They should not be putting these games Saturday night before Easter.
Dude, that's
family in town, fiance's dad's birthday.
They were both at Easter Vigil Catholic Mass, which is hilarious, and they missed it. So funny. So funny. I can't believe that three of my best friends are sports fans too. Missed that game.
It was, I mean, the sense I got when I went through Twitter and all I saw was, that was the best game in the history of the NCAA tournament. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't like missing history. You know, I got to see Derek Jeter's last hit, right? When he drove in the winning run, a walk-off. That was amazing. I've seen a couple other instances like that. This would have been right up there.
Yep. Hey, look at it's Rob. I think that was Rob from the Dallas show. He always watches.
Yeah, Rob, we
know
we're still live.
he always watches it after because he can't make it in time to see it live. So he's like, oh, I get to see the last part of it live. But yeah, Rob, we're done right now. So rewind it and rewatch it. Fun time.
All right. With that, we're actually done.
We're actually done now. See you all next week, Monday, 6
guys.
p.m. Eastern.